Enter Standard Oil. Now, what happens in capitalism? Supply and demand. Well, demand certainly went up. This meant people, everyday people, could use oil to write in their diaries at night. It still was pretty much only used for lamps at this point. Light bulb was coming along too, so that was getting scary. We might not even need it. So Rockefeller saw this coming, all right? There was a massive spike in supply. And I mean massive. Every man and his dog was drilling a hole, pulling out some oil. So every man and his dog is trying to pull out oil. This creates a massive supply. And the demand, well, this is before cars. This is before modern uses. This is before plastic. So there ain't that much demand for it anymore. Prices plummet by 20. So if a barrel is $20, it's now $1. You can't make a profit out of it anymore. And those whalers, we would have just wiped out all the whales. And those whalers, they're like, oh, I want to go kill majestic beings. And they were like, no, it's not profitable anymore. If we didn't find oil in the ground, we wouldn't have whales anymore. Just think about that. Capitalism would have just wiped out whales if we didn't find oil. And we only accidentally found it. So with the massive uptick in supply, the prices plummet. Great for everyday people, not great for people that own an oil pump or oil drill or an oil refinery. So Rockefeller, who's been buying drills and stuff like that, he teams up with one refinery, then another, invests in another. Suddenly he owns 90% of refineries across America, and not just refineries. He starts this thing called vertical integration, which means he buys the pipelines, the storage tanks, the rail cars, and the only person left to squeeze him is the people that own the rail lines. So he starts to buy them too, right? This guy is making so much money because although those prices were dropping, demand was starting to pick up. That every man and his dog that was having a go at drilling, there was other men and their dogs and women and their dogs and boys and girls. There's lots of people and dogs. I like dogs. They were out there and they were starting to use oil lamps. They were starting to lubricate their machinery. This was the Industrial Revolution. There was gears. Gears needed to turn. Rusty gears don't turn no good. No, they don't. Rusty gears don't turn no good. Rockefeller is now of a monopoly. The product itself, oil, had no other competitor. There was no other oil-like product that could be made as cheap and was as versatile. You could refine it into many things. And in itself, it was a monopoly. Whale oil couldn't compete. Seed oil couldn't compete. No other oil could compete with an oil that you could just stick a straw in the ground and it comes up. It was so easy back then. It was so easy. And Rockefeller became the monopolizer of that monopoly product. People talk about monopolies, mainly the board game. Don't really talk about them elsewhere. But by 1880, this was becoming a problem. A big old problem. Prices started to go up, even though there's no competition. It's getting a bit scary. The government had to step in. The Sherman Act in 1890 broke up Standard Oil. Here's the funny thing about a monopoly. Capitalism has always tried to warn against them. Capitalism knows that monopolies are its eventual, inevitable end, and it's also its enemy. Monopolies start to eat the system itself. People realize this. Ever since Adam Smith's Wealth of Nations, the Sherman and Antitrust Act comes in and it says no monopolies, right? We're going to check, we're going to stop companies from buying other companies and consolidating into bigger companies to eventually become a monopoly. We're going to investigate, we're going to break things up, we're going to step in when we need to. We're going to be the referee of this capitalism freedom experiment. And they're like, you're the government, you were always supposed to be the referee. And they're like, yeah, but now we realize we should be. A fundamental part of capitalism is no monopolies. You've got to protect against monopolies. Or it's not capitalism, it's not competitive. There's no innovation happening. It just becomes an oligarchy of one product. And sadly, I don't think the monopoly of oil itself has gone away yet. There's no other alternative. You don't rock up to the pump, should I put corn oil in it? Should I put whale oil in it? Or should I put Texas tea? They give you the illusion of 95, 91 ultimate, extreme, supreme oil fuel, but if you look into those, they're all rubbish. They're all just the same thing. Some people in some car nuts down the bottom going, no, my engine's so much cleaner when I got cleaner oil. No, you're just rubbish. You're rubbish. It makes so little difference. You'd notice it because noticing it would make you really cool because you would be noticing something that's purely unnoticeable, therefore making you quite an astute person. But no, you're not an astute person. You're being conned, man. Oil in itself is a monopoly product. For its use in the market, there is nothing like it. It monopolizes now containers. The Sherman Act broke up Standard Oil. But here's the thing about Rockefeller. He actually got richer. He got richer. They broke it up into many different companies, but he still had a share in all of those companies. And those companies went on to make more money. Their competition with each other actually innovated and improved the products. They refined oil better. They created plastic, which now, at the time, it was a good thing. They created so many different products out of oil. They innovated. They had to because there were several other oil companies out there that might innovate too. So we have to innovate ahead of them, right? And things got good. Oil supplies standardized throughout the world for a little bit of a time. Then we stopped giving it to Japan and they got angry. You all know how that turned out. If we don't, I'll do an episode about it. Let me know if you want oil part 2. It gets even more interesting there. We start fighting over it. It starts running out of oil, or easily accessible oil at least. And then they go around the globe, swinging their dick around. Their Moby Dick around. They go around the globe trying to control other people's oil because they think they ran out of oil, which they didn't run out of oil. All right, coming up, like and subscribe if you can, follow, comment, talk about this subject down there, drop some interesting facts that you may know about oil, which would be very interesting. And also, keep an eye out for my next video. That'll be oil part 2. We'll look into fracking. We'll look into how those companies that got broken up, just reconsolidating in the end. All right, not learning the lesson. And all the wars that oil created. Yeah, we've got some cool episodes coming up, so please do the like and follow thing. I know I already asked, but that could be great. Check me out on other platforms too. They'll be here on the screen. You'll hear it on the screen, wherever she's. Stick around for the end credits. Thank you! All right, this is America's History. I'm Shawn Michaels. All right.